Hello, my name is Brian McCormick and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Stroke of the Clock. Today's episode is going to be on advocates. How to identify an advocate, defining an advocate, and how to utilize advocates effectively. So,
Brian, can you tell us kind of what the definition is of an advocate?
An advocate is anybody that acts on your behalf to get you what you need. And there's several examples of advocates, and I'm going to go through them one by one. I was in a unique position because I have a lot of family support, and family and friends make great advocates. When I first had my strokes, my then wife, she was a great advocate, and she worked to get me what I needed all the time. But for those of you who don't have the support of a spouse, there's advocates, at-home therapists, inpatient therapists. They've all worked to get me what I need, and they've been a great help to me, and I don't know what I've done without them. So an example of an advocate that helped me a lot is my at-home therapist got me into inpatient rehab, a 30-day inpatient rehab stint, and then later on in my progress, I had a second round of at-home therapy, and my occupational therapist and my physical therapist worked together to get me my first power wheelchair, which if you haven't seen my episode on power wheelchairs, I have a whole episode on my PerMobile M3, which is great. So that being said, you have to be able to show that you can benefit from a chair inside your home, and they filled out all of the they checked all the boxes for me, and I would have never got that PerMobile M3 without their help. So that was great.
What about your manual wheelchair?
My manual wheelchair, my outpatient rehabilitation at the University of Washington, my therapist there, he said that I need a new wheelchair, and he arranged for the people that made my manual wheelchair to come to the UW Rehabilitation Center and take measurements and kind of show me, ask me questions, and I picked out the features I wanted, and then they came to my apartment later on and fitted me for the chair. So I would never have been able to do that if it weren't for my outpatient physical therapist.
What about Social Security disability?
Well, if you haven't already, I would recommend that you apply for Social Security disability as soon as possible, because it's after you apply for it, there's a period of time that you have to wait to get those benefits, and it varies, but there is a period of time you have to wait to get those benefits, and the sooner you get started, the sooner that you'll be getting the benefits. And I would hate to see people just wait around to apply for that, because there is a time between the application and receiving benefits.
And isn't that a time that they wait to verify that you truly are going to be disabled?
Yeah, and I had to wait 2 years before I could collect my Social Security disability benefits. And I don't know that that's the same in every state. That was the way it was in Washington. And so after 2 years, I got on Medicare, and I started collecting my Social Security disability.
And during your recovery time, did you have any issues with balance?
Oh yeah, I like a lot of stroke survivors, I had terrible issues with my balance, and my primary care doctor in Palm Desert got me to see a vestibularologist, which the vestibular is part of your balancing. It's part of the balance process in your inner ear, and so that really helped my balance. And it's a common problem with stroke survivors to have poor balance. And if you have poor balance, then you need to see a vestibularologist to help as much as can be helped with your balance. It helped me a lot, and I hope that anybody suffering from balance problems goes and gets that, sees a vestibularologist to see if they can help with the balance problems. An additional benefit to helping with balance is my eyes were what they called, they twitched rapidly back and forth. So it was making my vision blurry. I couldn't focus on a single point in space. And so in addition to my other vision problems, which I've talked about previously, nothing was in focus and everything was blurry just because my eyes were twitching rapidly. I didn't even notice it, but when I went into the vestibularologist, they said that your eyes are, I think she called it sprinklerly, this back and forth at a rapid rate. So, and with that stopped, my balance improved and my vision improved. So that was pretty good.
Brian, did you have any advocates that helped with medication?
Oh, yeah, I did. You know, that one of the things that you might find yourself in a real predicament, because oftentimes stroke survivors end up with exotic and expensive medications. And I was on am on a medication that costs $10,000 a month. So, you know, that's out of the price realm of nearly anybody. So, I was able to get help from a foundation, and with that bill. So I would look into any help you can get for your medications. Any foundations that are available to pay for your medication or offset the cost of your medication, I would just be really diligent to try to hunt down those programs and those people.
In your case, was there a doctor or somebody that got you pointed in that direction?
My hematologist pointed me in the direction of a foundation to help pay for my medication. And so you've got to, what I found is you have to ask the right questions, and it's really helpful if you know what questions to ask, or you know a way to get an advocate to help you through the process. I've done a little looking into it, and hospital social workers are a good starting point. And like when I was in the hospital, they asked if I wanted a social worker, and for some people that would be a great starting point. And if you in the hospital, if they anybody that works for the hospital or an insurance company, you can get those benefits, an advocate through the insurance company or through the hospital for free. That's my understanding anyway. And so I would highly recommend that anybody that has find themselves in a position that they need an advocate to use every resource available, including family, if not family, friends, or if your family and friends can't help you, then I would look into hospital advocates or an insurance company advocate that can help you for free. So that's what my recommendation would be.
Have you had any success in talking to your insurance company about getting reduced prescription costs?
Oh yeah. Another thing that's common with stroke victims is seizures, and I had a grand mal seizure the day before Christmas, and I just got home from the hospital, and that next day I had a grand mal seizure, and we called the hospital I was at and asked them, told them about the seizure. They said they were expecting that, and they never told us, and so it just turned out to be a real surprise. My wife at the time thought I was dying because I had bit my tongue hard, and I was foaming at the mouth, and I was kind of just bloody at the mouth. So it was a bad scene.
Okay, well, is there anything else, Brian, you want to talk about in this episode?
That's pretty much, that wraps it up for this episode. And in a future episode, I'll be talking about how once you get on permanent and total disability, you should be getting a letter in the mail for full and permanent discharge of your federal student loans. And I'll be covering that in a later episode.
Okay. Anything else you want to say in closing?
Well, in closing, I would just like to encourage anybody that likes my content and likes my channel to hit the subscribe button. And anybody that has any recommendations for future videos, you can hit the comment section and tell me what you'd like to see, and I'll do my best to cover that.
Okay. Very good.
And until next time, I hope this finds you in good health, and have a good day.